Humans of the cardboard, welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. Tonight, I need to talk about Mimighoul. I've had it on my mind a little bit. We did our initial reaction a couple days ago when the cards actually got, well, I guess leaked. This is before they actually got revealed by Konami. But we did our reactions. You guys got my vibe on that. I want to go a little more with a holistic view in this video, just talking about my overall thoughts on where the archetype is, just holistically after that first wave, and also into the future. Specifically, the next wave that we're going to get in Rage of the Abyss should be another 7 cards, which is good. That's a ton of cards. There are 7 card archetypes that are meta with 7 cards, and this is the second wave of 7 cards. And listen, I come from this standpoint of the last couple months, I have been openly vocal about how, terribly Konami has been when it comes to TCG exclusive archetypes. I mean, we have the past history of some of these TCG exclusive archetypes being some players' favorite decks in the game, legitimate competitive threats in the format, which I think only makes the TCG more enticing. Not that it needs to be more enticing, but when you have separate formats like Master Duel, OCG, TCG, to have a deck that is specific to the TCG, and we get it early for a couple months before the OCG gets it. They get everything before us. I think that makes for and if it does have impact on the metagame, I think that makes for an excitingly diverse separate format. But they haven't really done that in a while. I mean, Gold Pride was okay, Plunder was okay, Beecher was okay for a month before they banned Verte Anaconda, and then that archetype fell off the face of the earth. But other than that, they haven't really come through on making many TCG exclusive archetypes even good. Those decks were just okay rogue decks for the most part. Maybe tier 2 with Gold Pride Punk, but not much better than that. So here's why I land with Mimighoul. I actually like the first wave. I don't think I get it. The deck is kind of gimmicky, and in fact it's pretty gimmicky. The overall theme of the deck, you're giving your opponent a monster, they can just flip it up in most cases and not be too punished by it or too bothered by what the card is doing. That being said, I actually have hope for Mimighoul. There's a couple different reasons. The first thing is, this is almost picture perfect first wave for a TCG exclusive archetype. Knowing that it's going to get two different sets, 7 cards at a time. I think this is about as good as I could hope for a new TCG exclusive archetype. And the reason for that is just the core engine is there. It is done, right? Sure, they're going to add stuff, and they can add new engine cards if they want. But as far as the actual engine and starter cards, you kind of have a good piece of that. As far as consistency goes, I don't think that's a main concern in the deck, right? We have Mimighoul Master. He is a Stratos that on summon searches any Mimighoul monster. You have Dragon, who on summon searches any Mimighoul spell or trap. One of which is the field spell that just also searches another monster. So this card is even better, in my opinion, than Master as a starter in a lot of cases, or at least as your normal summon, because he gets you field spell, then field spell gets you another monster, right? So it's kind of just a +2. Add on to that the field spell itself. This is a searching field spell, but it's not on activation. It's been a while since we've seen one like this. I can't think of any since Spiral Resort, maybe, where this is just a main phase search with no drawback. Just once per turn, add any Mimighoul from deck or graveyard to hand, and as long as this card stays on the field, you are searching every single one of your main phases. It's really good. And the other main card is Mimighoul Maker. This is a really good engine card. I would like to see 1 or 2 more monster targets to really take full advantage of this card, but I gotta say, I still can't complain with where we're at, because Dragon and Archfiend are definitely, right now, the two... Whoa, not him. He's terrible. We'll get to him. Are the 2 main cards that you want to run through it. So, all in all, you have 2 Stratoses, a really good spell maker that gets your engine started, and a searching field spell. Your core engine is there. They can improve the engine with stronger engine cards, extenders that actually get you to more powerful setups, whatever. But in terms of consistency, this deck is searching everything pretty well. Okay? Whether you like the gimmicky mechanic that it kind of messes with or not, the consistency is there. You cannot complain about that, in my opinion. And so that's what I'm most happy with I think the first wave here, because now Konami can more specifically address specific like missing aspects of the deck with the next wave, where it doesn't feel like all 7 cards have to hit. Not even close. Maybe like 3 or 4 if they're like actual bangers, and the other ones are bad. I think we might still be okay with this archetype. The deck definitely needs help with going second. Doesn't really have great tools going second at all. You either have to be able to play this deck with like 15 plus non-engine slots, or they need to actually give this deck some better tools. You have a lot of searchability, so if they actually give them like a monster that is like actually quite powerful going second and works around stuff really well, that actually could be something that actually has some potential in the deck. The other thing is like turn 1 setup. The turn 1 setup right now still feels like really gimmicky and janky, not legitimately consistently powerful matchup to matchup. So I'd like to see just the potential to actually just end on a little bit more, or like a consistent just setup that's just like solid, right? When Subterror was good and that was a flip deck and it was a really slow deck, at least the setup was just like, you know what, I'm getting an Omni and my deck can play a ton of floodgates. I know we're way past that point now and you would want to end on more than that, but like even if it's simple, just get to it consistently and make it feel like matchup to matchup. It's a pretty annoying end board to beat, right? It doesn't feel like it's there. It feels like it's a little too matchup dependent. So a little bit of boost there would be really nice. Also, low key with like the engine already being decent for what we're talking about here. This is a deck that does not have that does not use the extra deck. In which case, we get to sit back and go, we don't use the extra deck. So cards like Pot of Prosperity, Pot of Extravagance are free game, even more huge consistency boosters for sure. Even when we talk about Extravagance, like Power Booster, you're going +1 off of that card, or baiting an Ash out of the opponent's hand pretty consistently. Like that's solid. There's other aspects that you get to take advantage by not playing the extract. That means stuff like Super Poly becomes super available to you because you can run the whole suite of Super Poly targets if you want. And maybe even stuff like Ghost, Winter Cherries as a hand trap, like stuff like that. Like, not that that's like a specific example you would be running, but it's something the deck like this can absolutely look at pretty easily. It'd be like, yeah, okay, that sounds pretty good. That works pretty easily in our deck. And other things too. So yeah, I like it. I like it because it feels like a good first wave where I'm happy that all the consistency, all the core of the engine is there. They just need the power boost, maybe a little speed boost, maybe a little going second boost. And then I think that it could actually be an annoying, you know what I mean? Like rogue control deck that kind of just does its thing, and it's weird and it's different. But if they give them the specific areas of just boost from here on in, I could actually see them being better. There's also the aspect that with the new like reveal video that I thought was kind of cool. I thought they did a good job with that. I want to give credit where it's due. It seems like they're leaning into the lore of this archetype a little bit more than some of the other ones. Sometimes they give like a really, really brief description that's just like not much to it, but like it seems like they're leaning into the lore of this archetype a little bit. And from what we've seen in Yu-Gi-Oh, when Konami gets into the lore, that's when they give branded 1,000,000 cards. You know, Dia Bellstar, Sinful Spoils, and it may not quite be on that level, but we've seen Konami give a little bit more fucks about the archetypes that, you know, have a little bit more lore built around them. So we could see them lean into that and actually end up, you know, giving a little bit extra love, have a little bit more incentive to actually make this archetype legitimately decent as a rogue competitive strategy. I'd love to see it. But yeah, overall, positive. Like, honestly, like 8 out of 10 on the first wave. The only card that is bad here is this guy. This guy is poop. Like, ideally, we would get 1 or 2 more good flipper monsters like these guys. In which case, we'd be able to cut Cerberus, because Cerberus is just terrible. Funny enough, like, he has maybe the coolest art in the whole archetype, but he's just bad. You know, I would love for Konami to give me a reason not to play this card. Basically, is where I'm at. But yeah, that's, you know, if 6 out of 7, solid. We'll take that for sure. If the next wave has 6 good cards and 1 card's meh, I mean, I think this deck has a legit chance to be good going forward, or at least decent. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm actually overall positive. I do have hope for this archetype, even though I've been one of the most negative people, at least in the YouTube space, talking about, you know, TCG exclusive archetypes. I actually do have a little bit of hope here. That could get easily extinguished as soon as Rage of the Abyss is within a week of coming out and we get the reveals for the final 7 cards. But I'm going to cap until then and really just hope and really just think in my mind that the second wave is going to at least give them the push to be a decent rogue deck. Because we know how it goes. Once they get that second wave of 7 cards, you've got at least a year most of the time until Konami even takes a look at them again. And a lot of times they get like 1 or 2 cards later on. And sometimes they can be really strong. Sometimes they can be not very strong. But, yeah. You know what I mean? So if the second wave whiffs, we're just in that same position we've been in for the last 10 years for most of these archetypes, which is just, okay, I guess we'll just wait a year to 2 years, and hopefully when they get 1 or 2 more cards in that time frame, maybe it'll be the difference. Maybe those will be awesome cards that actually allow this deck to basically just fully walk straight into competitive play. But that doesn't happen very often. So, yeah. Yeah, I'm hopeful. Hopefully you guys are too. Let's get on the cap train. Let's just cap all the way, and hopefully that carries us into the next wave and it actually ends up coming to fruition. It's more fun to hope. Yes, it can lead you to be being super let down at points, but when it does come through, it makes me happy. And also for the next couple 3 months, I'll be probably happy, like, because I'm like, come on, Mimighoul, rather than like, ugh, how's Konami gonna blow it this time? Whatever. I'm on the cap train. Ride along with me. Let's get it. But yeah, I'm at it for today. Thanks for watching as always, guys. Let me know your thoughts down below on Mimighoul after their first wave in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this archetype. Maybe it's even a little more interesting now that I'm giving it credit for. Just any thoughts down below, whether it's the future for Mimighoul, whether it's where Mimighouls are right now. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. But I'm at it for today. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.